Okay, good morning. Okay, actually, it's 1:30 in the morning, 1:32 by now. And I'm making this video because I got all kinds of weirdness. Three weirdness going on. Okay, so I was texting my sister and she was saying, like, oh my gosh, she's like, I have to recover from some of the stuff that you accused me of. It was like mind freak. And I'm like, okay, so I guess maybe I'm confusing the works of her spirit with the works of her flesh, or she's completely lying. And she's so used to me not finding out, she thinks she can just continue to lie to me. And then I talked to him, and then I was like, I started to get really upset about Michael because you have to understand, like, nobody in his world knows who I am. Like, Eddie should have known who I was. He had no clue who I was. Like, his people don't know me. And so I was like, okay, so I think that probably like, and I called him. I was like, look, I was like, I just think I was like, you're this great big archangel, and we're just little bitty ants. We're little bitty angels. There's so many of us, and you're so big. And I'm just like, he's like, I'm like, we all think that you love us the way that we love you, and we don't know that you just don't want to make us feel bad and tell us that we're little bitty. And there's a whole bunch of us. I know my lips are chapped. And he completely flipped the phone call on me. And he's like, I chose you. And he's like, I chose you. And I was like, I chose you. And he's like, I was like, you completely flipped this phone call on me. It's like, and I'm at the end, he kept saying it. He would not admit it. And I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I am not happy with the outcome of this phone call. And then third thing, my people that are leaving tomorrow, every time something comes up missing, I find it in their room. They're leaving tomorrow. I think they're stealing from me. But back to yesterday when we first got back into Springfield from to Springfield, no, back to Joplin from Springfield. I missed my exit, and I always come in a range line so I can drive past Michael's. And I was like, so I went Main Street. Well, I circled back. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me I was about to find out something important. So I pulled up at Michael's, and they were just going in the restaurant. The dogs were in there, and he was there. He was just letting someone in. There was like three guys, a girl, and him. I'm pretty sure, or two guys, a girl, and him. But there was this car, this white car, kind of pulled up and stopped in front, and the shoulder, just halfway on the shoulder, half on the street. Obviously, the street's not busy, especially not that it was like 6:45 or something. And but the weird thing was that car had a big, huge camera on the hood of the car. And like they're obviously driving around taping everything. And so I was like, okay, so I followed him. And I followed him. And I followed him and I got close and I wasn't even trying to hide it that I was following them. And they went to the police station over by Damco headquarters and went in the parking lot and they turned around. And then I didn't follow them, went through the alley, turned back around, then went through the parking lot again. I was like, okay, so obviously I made it obvious that I'm following you because you've turned and turned and turned, and I've turned and turned and turned because if I lose you, I'm not going to find you again. Regardless, I was like, okay, well, now that you know I'm following you, you are not going to lead me anywhere. And so I went back. So it's like, yeah, so it's Michael. I was like, are you doing a documentary? And he's like, no. I was like, why didn't you sing it? I was like, oh, blah. I started talking about this. Did you see that car, brother, with the big, huge camera on the hood? He's like, yeah, Google Maps. And I was like, I know. I followed them straight to the police station. You know what I'm saying? But I read on the license plate. It was Arkansas. I was like, is that a clue? One of us like, what is this, off-duty Arkansas police officers? Like, what's going on? What do I need to know? But the thing was, when I got to Springfield, I saw a green van, and I kept seeing, like, I went to Dollar Tree, it was 216. It was a green van just like Michael, so I pulled through the parking lot. I was like, "Okay, what is it?" Michael and Kurt, Michael and Kurt, Michael and Kurt. I was like, "Okay, so they've got they're doing something. That's not good. They're having some kind of an alliance." Let me tell you what's weird, though, is that I wanna know, like, okay, does Michael secretly have money somewhere? Because how is he working with all these people and doing all these things and not getting any money? You know? Or is he faking like he doesn't have money? I was like, something's up because these people, what are they doing? I mean, mass murders, you know what I'm saying? Human trafficking, like what is going on? So I'm barking up the heels. But then I went to Kyle's for the visit. In Springfield. What was I talking about? Oh, the Dollar Tree thing. That was right before the visit because I was trying to get a charger. And we wound up buying other things, which reminds me, I need to get. I don't think I got the. Regardless, I put some stuff in the car. I need to go find out if I got it out, everything out of the car, because we got back after dark, and I tried to retry like everything. Okay, so let me think. What else do I need to tell you? Anyway, I've gotten 2 license plates. I need to figure out how to find out who owns a car from their license plate, and I don't know if you need to know a police officer in order to do it or what. But, let me think. Well, okay, so basically, it's like I told Jerry, like, I think that my Michael and my dad are like lovers, like, and I'm trying to figure out, like, it's the weirdest shit ever because I'm like, "How did you guys have time to become lovers?" You know what I mean? 'Cause, you just met him in May of 2020, and I know it's a year and a half, and it's more than enough time, but I wanna know what when did you guys start like talking behind my back and stuff like that? You know what I mean? When did my dad start introducing you to family members behind my back? When did you start going to family get-togethers and creeping around town with my family behind my back without telling me? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did you start this bullshit? Because I know you met at the car wash, and it was like June or May or June of 2020 because I forgot I didn't move back till June. So I'm like, okay, so that was from the jump. You know what I mean? That was right after I moved back. And so I introduced them, and then I guess their relationship just flourished and budded. But you know, it's so freaking weird, like with women. Like he was like the great grandma, the mom, the child, the grandchild, the great grandchild, as long as they're alive. You know what I mean? And I guess he does it with men too. He's dated my dad. I was trying to date my brother. Next to me, my brother's kids. And I'm like, you know what? It's a good thing that you gave it until like a homosexual lifestyle right before if you go back to prison because then you're not going to notice it was already your preference even when you were out here and got out of bitches. You still prefer to ass. Dude's ass, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, well, I like it because you don't have to like lube and shit. You can just fuck them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, whatever, more power to you, I guess. But so I guess you and my rich brother are gonna be lovers in prison, I guess. And I thought it was gonna be you and my other brother, regardless. Yeah. But anyway, I've just got you can feel the spiritual warfare in the air. Immediately. And I'm like, okay, so I need to find somebody who can look up these license plates for me because oh, there's the one last night in particular, but I also want to find out who, because the one bitch I was at his house that night when I went. I don't know. I know that there's something going on, and I want to know what it is, and I want to know how long it's been going on, and when did it start, and what have they done, and why are the police looking for them and watching them? You know, why are you under surveillance? You know why? Like, and I know that you're up to no good. I know that Kurt's up to no good. You know what I'm saying? I know what he does for a living, but or I have an idea about this. I have an idea what he does for a living. And but then I talked to my sister, but see, they called me a malicious. I was reading the word of God, and the word malicious. People are describing me using the word malicious about me, a malicious witness. And I'm like, I'm not a malicious witness. I'm like, I may bark up the wrong tree sometimes. So basically, in my letter to the judge, I copied the accurate versus precise uh, the diagram, and I put it in the letter to the judge because I'm going to tell him, be like, look, yeah, I know something's up. I might be wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? My imagination might run away with me sometimes. You know what I mean? But basically, I'm just like, and every time I start a sentence class and I have to learn this whole accurate versus precise thing, I'm like, it's annoying to me. You know what I'm saying? But then you realize like it actually has life applications. But I said that because I said a bunch of shit, and now I'm getting called a malicious witness, and it's actually I don't know. It's okay. So if you say something because you think something happened, but you don't actually know, are you bearing false testimony against your neighbor? Just curious. Asking for a friend, right? Okay. So regardless, so basically, they're going to. I need to check their stuff before they go because I want to know what the fuck they stole. Because there's something they stole a lot of shit, I guess, or something important that they like. My nautical robe that Jerry just brought me is missing. This blanket I retrieved from their stack of blankets, my pillow, and they don't say anything. They just take shit, and like it's like they didn't take it. But I'm starting to really wonder about his mom to just because what that morning when we went to Carthage, when Jerry was here, like the morning before yesterday, we were getting ready to leave at like 6, and we left at 6. Well, We made it downstairs for breakfast at 6, and then I was like, okay, before you go, take me to Carthage because I needed to go talk to Eddie. I'm looking for my God. Actually, I was kind of looking for Michael, and I don't know for sure. Now that Michael and I had a falling out, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But let me tell you, I can't find Mike anyway. They're tucking all the people that I needed to talk. My key people are being tucked away, basically, which is I don't know what to say, but regardless, my point is that let me think. What is my point? There's a lot going on that I don't know, and I'm not the only one trying to find out. And what I'm trying to figure out is okay, so you can't prove it yet, or you wouldn't be doing what you're doing, but yeah, somehow linked it back to Joplin, Missouri. You somehow linked it back, you know what I mean, to mental use, and out of Arkansas. And I know that my family has. I don't know if it's related to I have family in Little Rock. You know what I'm saying? And I know Clarissa, and I know that my sister used to come to Little Rock a lot when I was there, and not say anything to me. And you know what I'm saying? It was just like, why? One, I have like a major uh, trust issues. That's one thing that I know for sure. A tangible, I can't. Sometimes I know things. Sometimes I don't know things. Sometimes I think you know things. Sometimes I forget what I thought I knew. It's like I was dissociative thing because I started trying to figure out what the hell they were up to back in 2009. And I remember I bought all this spyware and shit, and I was gonna try to find out what they were doing. And And then Mark stole it. You know what I'm saying? And then I got into that tumultuous relationship with Mark, with all-consuming relationship with Mark. And I can't lie, I kind of like abandoned pursuit. I kind of like got into my own drama and bullshit. And then I lost my baby, and I think it was my family. And I want to know just how devious my sister is. I'm like, look, I was like, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but this is just as I told her, I was like, this is mind freakish, and I'm going to sleep because I mean, Michael has said things. You know what I'm saying? She talks about internal. My sister said something about internal versus external evidence, and I don't know how deceitful she is. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, I don't know. Like, I think that you know everything that Michael knows. You know what I'm saying? I think that he passes the shit along to you. And I think that you actually might be in communication with that, and you're faking like you're not. Because he told my Aunt Kathy, she told my sister, one of my dad's members, she needed to talk to my dad and tell him that he had a spirit of rebellion. And I'm like, okay. So either maybe that's really where you're at. Maybe that's legit, or maybe you thought that would resonate with Kathy, and you're trying to keep her in the dark too. And don't get me wrong. I think that Michael was fucking Lydia too. Mara, she's another one. But I don't know. I think that I don't really. I mean, if he doesn't give a fuck about him, I don't either. That's the thing. Because I obviously didn't give a damn about her. But here's the thing. What I found out, like the day after I brought Jerry to his house, we were on the phone like all day, dawn till dusk, and then we started out the next day on the phone. And I don't know. I guess he had some drug addict come over to his coffee shop, and he was like off the grid for like the rest of the day. But regardless, I'm saying this because whenever we were talking, when he's mad, he says a bunch of shit. And I guess what I didn't realize is how he's trying to give Marcus the dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you what. And then the shit that he told the girl across the street about us, like she knew that we had pregnant, like we tried to get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So the amount of information he's telling them in general and about us is like it makes me leery of him. I'm like, okay, so that type of shit, that's a real relationship. So yeah, you come around here and you talk shit about them to me, but in reality, you're probably in more of a relationship with them than you are with me. And another thing that I realized I asked him about is like, hey, okay, so for example, say you have 100 ex-girlfriends, I will hear about 4 or 5 of them, and I'm like, okay, so what is the difference between what makes why do some of them receive an honorable mention? You know what I'm saying? For example, and I went through and I told him, I was like, okay, so you talk about Marissa's mom in California a lot. You talk about Bobby a lot. You talk about the girl that got a bullet in her mouth a lot. You know what I mean? But you don't mention. You say you had girlfriends all across the country, and I've seen how you are. I saw you this summer with my own 2 eyeballs, and I'm gonna tell you that if I hadn't seen it for myself, I never would have believed it, like ever. You can speculate. I had an idea how it was. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when he was in Carthage, like 14 hours a day, every day, like starting, I don't know, last summer. I don't know, like the summer 2020. Yeah, all the time Carthage, 14 hours, and we come back and